Hi, my name is Professor Dan Gilmet from the Evolution BJJ Association. I'm here to discuss a little bit about systematically controlling the mount for Evolution BJJ University. One of the problems with adults in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is a lot of them have been removed or bucked off so easily that they tend to go more side control to try and control. If you put in the time to get good at controlling the mount, it's one of your best options to get to the back or to finish, especially if it was in a real fighting scenario, because you have the ability to do damage and the person who's stuck underneath is carrying your weight and their own when they're trying to move, and they can't really do much to hurt you. The mount by far is one of the top positions in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Put the time in, it's worth its weight in gold. The systematically controlling the mount is broken up into 6 different sections. In section number 1, we start covering one of my favorite mounts. It's the butterfly mount. I've been doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu for close to 30 years now, and sometimes I think that I actually came out with stuff, and I start going over different things that I've studied, or sometimes I'll look back at different seminars that I've done with a lot of great instructors from around the world and realize that I'll sometimes, when I go to a seminar, I'll pick up certain details, try and understand why people use those details. Is it for the next technique that they want to follow up with, or is it extra control that they get? So I'll sometimes pick some details and add it to stuff, and then I'll sometimes pick up other details and add it to stuff. And unfortunately, I sometimes forget that I learned certain things from other instructors. So I believe that I came out with the butterfly mount myself, and maybe took some different details from some of my instructors. But again, over time, I could be wrong. Maybe it's something that I learned 20 years ago. So in section number 2, we're covering escapes from non-BJJ people and from BJJ people. Starting with non-BJJ people. Most people who don't do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu tend to try and escape the exact same way. It's important that we learn how to defend against this for several reasons. One, if it's a self-defense situation, chances are it'll be against a non-BJJ person. 2, white belts are always the longest part of the line in every class. So it's important that we know how to deal with the young, strong, athletic, new people who join the club, even if you're a higher belt. They're likely going to use some of these non-BJJ escapes, and it allows us older, more experienced people to just shut them down technically instead of fighting power for power. And then we're going to cover the most commonly taught escapes from the mount that are normally taught in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and how to systematically shut them down, how to take out that one piece in the technique that makes the technique useless. When you're in a certain position, there are only certain escapes that are available, 1 or 2 depending on how you're positioned. So knowing that there's only 1 or 2 different ways that he can escape out of different positions, I have to be ready for both, and I know what he needs to do to be able to complete the escape. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to modify my position according to which escape he's able to do, and it shuts it down. So once we've maintained control of the person, then we have to start isolating stuff to be able to go for attacks. So whether it be for a choke or setting up multiple attacks, we need to isolate and get to an angle that we have leverage to be able to finish. So, and not just that, but we could use multiple attacks. So I could be setting up a choke to get a response, which will set up another attack. So sometimes I'll get a finish, not so much the finish that I want, but I'll take the one that you give me. So if you don't respond to my attack, then I'll finish the first attack. If you do respond to my attack, you're setting up my second or my third attack. So you can actually plan 6 or 7 moves ahead of time as long as the person responds. If they don't respond, then you finish there.